All right, let's talk about our vetoes as we get into this match right now. It is going to be not super consequential for TSM, not really that consequential for Liquid either, but maybe they want the perfect group. Maybe they want those 18 points.
So TSM starting off the ban phase by banning their best map.
Wow.
They are not going to play Cafe, despite it being the map that they have a 4-game win streak on, and that they absolutely dominate inside of North America. So that's going to be a shocker. I think Liquid are likely going to ban out maps that they haven't played yet to try to hide as much as they possibly can. Chalet going to be one of those that's going to go out for Team Liquid. It's been one they've played in the past, but not a whole lot in Stage 2 and not in the event as far as I can remember. There goes Oregon as well. That is one that Liquid have been quite strong on in the past, so another one where they're likely trying to hide some things. There goes the Coastline. I was hoping for some Coast. You know, it's always a fun one between the frag-heavy teams. Consulate, Clubhouse, it'll be Cons. And I think this one will give us a pretty good matchup. I mean, Liquid are 4-1 since Stage 2 started on this map. They lost to Cyclops and won back at SI, but in Mexico they've beaten Empire here twice. So they did manage to force it to a map that they've shown a lot already in the group stage and likely won't have to show too much more.
Yeah, the interesting part about this is we're still looking at if teams are rematching already in their group, do they go back to the same map? And for Liquid's case, it was Empire twice on Consulate, and both times they managed to get the dub. Consulate's also a very favored map for teams in Brazil in the first place in stages 1 and 2. They've loved the hell out of this map for a really long time. Ever since Bank got taken out of their rotation, they were like, what can our next playground be? And everyone immediately said Cons. So already that's a good sign, I think, for Team Liquid. But on the flip side of that, this is also, again, a case where TSM simply don't need to put their best foot forward in as many circumstances because there's not as much to play for.
Well, and probably neither team is prepared that much for this match, if I had to guess.
I'm sure the analysts and coaches of TSM especially were not doing VOD review super late last night, probably Liquid as well. I will say, I mean, they might not have to for TSM because this is a strong map for them as well. They went undefeated at the 6th Invitational when they played Consulate. I don't believe they played it in Stage 2 at all.
They didn't, no.
Yeah, I think it was always banned against them because they're known as such a good Consulate team. So yeah, this should be more or less play by the book for TSM.
It is also worthwhile to note that you still want to secure a #1 seed at this point, which I think for Team Liquid, it's not completely locked down yet. They're guaranteed for playoffs because there isn't a chance that they can get any worse than somebody who is already within the second to third threshold. They've surpassed that, but they haven't locked in first place, and you want to guarantee that. Now, the nice part about that is Team Liquid is already a good enough team that even if they got a second seed by some weird reverse miracle, that they'd probably do really well against a team that was also a first seed. But you still want to get a guarantee of that. So even if you get like 1 point in this game, I think they essentially lock down first place.
Well, yeah. So yes, and also I would think you would want to lock down first place right now because then you have the option to sandbag your match versus IG to keep Empire out of playoffs.
True.
Not saying that I know anything because they haven't sold that to me or said they're going to do that, but you can make playoffs potentially a lot easier for yourself in certain ways if you believe that Empire is the better team to IG.
I think that's fair. And I mean, Liquid are kind of known for, I mean, they came into this event as the 3rd seed out of Brazil. So if they were to fall onto that second seed, they're used to battling back against the top seeds from a tournament. So
it happens.
Liquid will beat, I think, anybody they go up against in the quarterfinals.
And ultimately, Liquid is probably the team that, dare I make a very, very early prediction, could very well make a run straight to the grand finals.
All right, let's get to TSM really quick. Who is the player who has made the most of this major experience, even though they haven't had perhaps the ideal lineup that they were dreaming of coming into this tournament with?
Achieved.
100% achieved.
No doubt it's been achieved. I mean, he played really well against Invictus despite the fact that they lost that game yesterday and got eliminated out of the tournament. He's the type of player you don't really notice shaking up the scoreboard because he's just constantly doing his job. He's not playing flashy. He's really good with that vertical pressure, being able to get above his opponents, rip the floorboards up with the sledgehammer. He's always, his whole career, been that player that's stuck onto 1 or 2 operators for an entire stage. Sledge is his main, and he will never give that up. His nades are fantastic just because he's been playing the operator so long. He knows angles that like nobody else even realizes exists with those frag grenades, right? So I think he's had a great tournament so far despite the circumstances, and I hope he comes big here because he's a player we don't talk about enough.
Yeah, and it's nice that we get the chance to highlight him because I think it's usually Merc trying to not necessarily steal the spotlight, but if he were here, we would probably be talking about his success overall in the role that he plays. It's not that all of TSM is handicapped simply by Merc not being here because these guys are more than capable on their best day of finding a way to succeed. But again, it's the problem that I brought up yesterday. It's the idea that we have 2 god-tier support players on one team and only one of them is really capable of playing like the primary support, plant the diffuser, hard breach style that we know TSM usually tries to go for and executes. And the issue here is just figuring out where one of them is going to fit in. We saw Pojoman playing a little bit on some of Merc's roles. We saw some of the Jaeger play yesterday, which didn't ultimately result in a victory. It was still interesting to watch Pojoman play Jaeger, since that's not usually what he goes for. But again, someone had to play something that they weren't comfortable with when Merc wasn't here.
All right, well, now I have a fun new toy, guys,
what is that?
for the rest of this event.
What is that?
This is an Aztec death whistle.
Pardon?
Yeah, exactly. So this was used by Aztec warriors to intimidate their enemies in battle. And it's especially appropriate because actually, while we have been here, so on August 13th, 2021, was the 500th anniversary of the fall of the Aztec Empire to Cortez.
Sheesh.
So there actually have been very big Aztec celebrations in Mexico City that we have not been able to go to, sadly, while we have been here. But we're going to use this when teams get eliminated from the Mexico City Major.
okay.
So we've got 3 teams that have died. They are TSM, Sonics, and Na'Vi so far. So I will blow it once for those teams. And for the rest of the day and the rest of the playoffs, we'll blow it when teams get eliminated. I'm warning you, it is loud if you are wearing headphones. It is absolutely horrible.
Is it
still
really
gonna do
shrill?
It sounds like someone screaming and dying.
Oh, no.
But you can see why it was very intimidating, especially if there's hundreds of people blowing these at you at one time. I would not want to fight the Aztecs. That would make me run away. So I'm going to do it. You've been warned, headphone users.
All of the players just looked up like, what is going on? That was good.
So there you go. That's for the death of TSM. Good luck next time.
Oh my God!
A fitting end.
A fitting end.
That is
and for
as
Sonics.
shrill as I thought it was going to be.
Yep, and for Na'Vi. So we'll only do it once for them, but we are going to have other teams eliminated today. And we'll keep doing it. 4 of them, in fact.
Great. Looking
It was for
forward to
Knights
it.
as well. It was for Knights as well.
Right. Fair.
All right. So thank you for indulging me, and I'm going to keep annoying everyone with it for the
Please
rest of
do.
the tournament. All right. So moving on. Team Liquid. Palu was our MVP yesterday. He's still a rock star. He might be the MVP of this event, just like he was at the 6th Invitational. Anything going to slow down Liquid? And then we're going to go into game because players are ready.
No, Palu is too good. The rest of the team backs him up way too much. I mean, right now, Palu has been the best player, I think, in all of Brazil. People have talked about Nesk as the big player on Team Liquid, but honestly, I think Palu is even better. You look at historically the results for these 2 teams. Palu's been fantastic. He was the #1 player at the 6th Invitational, the #1 player at Copa Elite 6. He was the #1 player so far in Mexico. #1 just belongs to this guy, and we're going to see that trend continue.
He's already the #1 leader in 4 different statistical categories so far, and that goes for the entire tournament. We're talking, what are we looking at? His rating, his kills, his entry, and his cost.
He's got to get those plants up.
And his clutches, unfortunately.
Sure.
He doesn't have enough 1vx's yet. But he also doesn't need them simply because of what he plays, and he's doing the exact same thing that he was doing at SI. He had a little bit of an off period back in the BR6 regular season for Stage 2. That's actually where we saw Nesk have better stats than him overall. Palu, I think, kind of fell off just a little bit, but all of Liquid is back in form the exact same way that they were from the 6th Invitational, and it doesn't really seem as though they're going to slow down because they are the only team so far to have this many points. 4 regulation victories in the group stage could very well set them up for 6.
All right, we're ready to get into game. And for our first match of the day of TSM versus Liquid, 2 casters who were very brave and did not run away from the sound of the death whistle. It's Intero and Kickstar.
I actually encouraged Monty to do it earlier on because I really wanted to hear it beforehand. And while they were in rehearsals, I was walking down the hallway and he did it and it echoed throughout the chamber, and then everybody in the hallway turned and looked. That's just the Mexican death whistle. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's really quite interesting. I think it sounds kind of like meat hitting oil when you're trying to deep fry something.
Sounds like a boiling witch.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah,
Sounds like a witch being boiled in
with
oil.
the scream and all. Yeah.
Not pleasant.
No.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If you're one of those teams that are going to be eliminated today, obviously, not that a whistle is going to change your mind, but you certainly don't want to hear that tied next to your name.
I think that has become the priority for avoiding elimination now, Parker.
It's the whistle.
It's changed.
It's really just
We're
the whistle at
shifting
this
the
point, yeah.
priorities. Yeah.
So to the 3 teams that have already been eliminated, I actually feel like it's kind of unfair. We should uneliminate them
Give
and
them a
allow
second
them a
chance.
chance to stick around because they didn't know
About the
that
whistle.
their exit from the event would be heralded by such a horrible noise.
Ooh, look at that handshake going on there. Oh, that was nice.
So slick.
Now we've got.
PSK and Sexy Cake,
They
they're
know.
locked in.
Yeah, they're ready.
Dialed in.
Hi.
Lots of energy, lots of focus.
Hi. It's great to see Moringa having a good time. Everybody on Liquid having a good time, as they have been absolutely indomitable through these groups so far. What?
Just took the words right out of my mouth.
I just yoinked them. Yep.
It's the sound that was made.
You
It's
know,
the sound of words being pulled out of your mouth.
we're in each other's heads, Parker.
Correct.
Get out of my head.
No, I like it in here. It's very comfy.
Uh-huh.
On the opposite side of the stage, on the opposite side of the standings, TSM are looking for their very first victory. They do not have a single win nor a single point to their name.
Yeah, but and you know, the cool thing is, Parker.
North America is known as near airport. is,
No, you can't do them like that. No, but they, yeah, they're gonna go to the airport at some point here.
I hope we get a freak show of a match here, by the way.
Yeah,
there's
I
nothing
also-
to play for either of these teams. Let's just start this off with, we want to set the stage for you, not that we think that you shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now that TSM has absolutely no pressure whatsoever, I imagine they'll play very differently here.
I mean, people had said when Merc wasn't able to compete, they said, okay, well, just move Geo into Merc spots, you know, and then move Pojo into Geo spots. And well, but there was, I think it was Merc on Twitter said, like, well, we're not going to upend strategies after only doing like 2 days of practice on it. Can't really do that. And it's like, I understand that.
I mean, we have seen from TSM, they've been talking about it on multiple platforms, and they're saying it's just not the same as when they didn't have Geo because of the roles. And it's really difficult to bring Pojo Man in and just have him fit into Merc's roles. Merc is a very unique player, and he fulfills a very unique role. For TSM, not having that, it's debilitating. But, I mean, their story at this event is essentially over. At this point, everything they do, I mean, the best they can do is make other teams struggle to get out of the group stages because, well, they're already not going to. But we've got the ban phase all done. It's 0. Nomad, Mira, and Wamai. Nothing too crazy going on here. The 0 is probably the most off-center, but we have been actually seeing a lot of 0 bans lately.
What's Chala going to play on attack?
Oh, no.
His Nomad and his 0 have both been banned out.
Well, on defense, he's going to be playing Tachanka, evidently. Now, and that's not a troll. We've actually been seeing Tachanka be extremely useful so far through these groups.
Especially on this map.
Especially from North American teams.
You can bank his Molotovs from the Shumika launcher onto a number of different stairways,
default plant
different
spots.
rooms, default plant spots. One of the strongest that was talked about was being able to launch those Molotovs over towards yellow stairs from base.
Yeah.
And it'll cover that landing through the main door. So if somebody wants to push you from the soda machine or simply from outside the building, they might run into a bit of trouble here. So
we've got a lot of options with that Tachanka. And TSM was actually one of the first teams to make effective use out of Tachanka before he even got his most recent buffs. They had a really cool strategy on Oregon for holding Freezer. We saw Bolo use that Tachanka to great effect there. That was really quite interesting to watch in the NAL. Now we'll see what they've got in terms of the Molly spots here on Consulate. I'd say that Tachanka has a very high skill floor and a high skill ceiling. You need to put a lot of thought and practice into knowing where those Molotovs will land when you shoot them at specific locations from specific locations. But that's all just Tachanka aside. Other interesting things we've got going on here.
Look at Liquid's lineup.
I was about to say, look at the, you've got a Blitz,
Here
a Finka.
comes the pain!
You got a Blitz, a Finka, and a Lion. This is reminding me of when we had that that meta back when Glaz could start seeing through smokes way back in the day. It was a while ago. Oh.
You don't gotta be sexy cake to know you don't want to be going up against a Finka Lion Blitz combo, but here you go. It's gonna open up the wall, and Geo will be the one to watch. Fire goes off. That's one of those blasts from Tachanka. 13 remaining Molotovs in the Shumika launcher. Down goes Nesk. I don't know what the Finka was trying to do, but Geo is ready for it. This could be a potential statement match for TSM.
I mean, that's all it really could be, Parker.
They have not done a role swap, by the way. So we had speculated that maybe because the stakes for today's matchup for TSM are nil. They're playing for nothing at this point in this actual event.
That they just mess around.
That maybe we'll actually see Geo go on to Merc's roles, and Pojo will play Geo's roles and see, just even though it's on limited practice, if it will make much of a difference. Down goes Pojo Man. He had been isolated over on yellow stairs, and he's punished for it.
So even exchange, but half the round left to go here. Liquid still fishing for control upstairs. Interestingly, Sexy Cake is somewhat alone. He's got PSK droning for him, but he's really isolated, and he has the diffuser on this roam clear. Bolo's going to fall back. The Blitz will take him down. Uh-oh, here he comes! The C4! Oh! Martyrdom! As Bolo takes Sexy Cake with him.
Oh my goodness.
It worked
What's
out.
the saying? I'm not trapped in here with you.
You're trapped in here with me.
They've still got a Lion on the board. This has been just as fun as we had anticipated it would be thus far, and they are really going for it. You can't see, but behind us, when that explosion went off, Pojo Man did like the rodeo lasso move above his head. And that's exactly what this is.
I can't believe that worked. Oh, man. Okay, so Breach is above here. That's good that you've got Palu with those Breach charges in his pocket. There's no Sledge on the board, so you need that. Ooh, there's Palu landing the shots we expect from him. Could it be a third for him? Oh, very narrowly missing on Chala, and oh, he's going to lose out to the LMG. Chala! Impressive shots, and he's got more bullets to deliver. There they are, Rush, and it's TSM taking the first round.
Mr. Appreciation Post himself,
There it
clutching
is.
up in the end. And who'd have thought this? You go back 2 years' time. Finka, Lion, Blitz, and Tuchanka all in the same matchup. You'd be pulling your brain out of your head.
I mean, we kind of did see that, though, with Liquid. I talked about it during the action there. Why is the Blitz solo clearing? Yeah, someone's droning for him, but he's solo clearing with the diffuser upstairs on a basement defense. That is puzzling for Team Liquid. Bad allocation of manpower.
Well, that was round one.
And I hope we get more like it.
I desperately hope we get more like it.
Unfortunately, we're going to lose the Blitz here.
Damn.
Darn it.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
He had a good run.
Yeah,
And gave us
a good run.
They gave us a remarkable clip.
A good run
honest, yeah.
straight into a C4.
Back turn to it.
If you want to support TSM and their awesome Mozzie C4s, like the one we just saw from Bolo, you can go ahead and get their skin in the store. Esports tab, nice and easy to find in-game, and it's a good way to support TSM directly. The teams have their skins in there as well. If you want to support a different team, be my guest.
Liquid, by the way, also has a skin.
They do.
You're welcome to support that too.
Yeah. They're all good skins, Brunt.
What did you just say? What was that?
You don't know that reference?
No.
Okay. I'll show you later.
Please do.
Yeah.
A more conventional lineup.
They're
now
all
for
good
Liquid,
dogs.
by the way.
It's in all. They're all good dogs. You don't remember that one?
Oh, come on.
What? Oh, this peak out here from Bolo. Well, he's got nothing to lose, literally. So, go for it. No, I mean that's
Story of TSM.
story. We said it now at least 5 times. We can not say it for the rest of the match, I guess. Palu, the only one with kills for his team off that first round. He's going to be on the entry in through yellow stairs. Ooh. Missed out on that. I think that was achieved. He will fall back, and these tracers actually coming quite close to Palu's head.
He's on the hunt.
He's not. He has not been missing this event, Parker. It's terrifying. Palu is terrifying.
Paulu's been remarkable.
Yeah, I think Jesse brought it up a little bit on the desk there, but Palu has been the star of the show for Liquid for actually the past little while. Say the past half year to a year. Palu has really been stepping into the whole, main focus of Liquid as a whole.
Ooh, that nade just sails by Pojo. Does a tiny bit of damage. Tinnitus going off. Second one will go through, but it's even farther away. This cheeky little angle here, but Pojo pulls trigger a little bit too early on. And Bolo on the run out gets picked off, and Sexy Cake gets 2 for the price of 1. And he'll now swing in right as somebody from TSM was ready to break through that main door. That was Gio with the AUG in hand, going long range. The Clutch Master himself in the previous round. Chala's now the one under fire, down in blue. Playing off of this rotate on Teller's Archives defense.
He's also only got half of his HP. Liquid have been doing very well and picking off these players. Also TSM assisting, walking into that Claymore a little bit. Now, Gio from Banana is going to have a lot of job to do because he's got to cover this locker hallway, which he's failed to do just now. He also has to cover above him by statue and spiral, which is just a lot of ground to cover, and this is what happens when you lose 2 players early on.
Palu just holding an angle now, waiting as PSK gets the plant down. Fire will displace Chala and Achieve. Gio with 2 big kills. Chala's fire, he dies to the fire of Sexy Cake, and Moringa picks off 1. Diffuser does not get planted, need to be retrieved. There it is. And Palu gives Achieved a mercy killing. Liquid take round number 2.
That's great reactions there from Palu. Awareness, 10 out of 10, and Liquid looking solid on their second round here. even in those rounds. That last one was quite interesting for Liquid. They did a very direct take through the garage. They set themselves up to take out as many TSM players as possible, as the TSM players attempted to get aggressive and control off-site. Their absolute failure from TSM on that front resulted in decisive man advantage for Liquid. They were able to just walk into tellers because there was basically no control there at that point. And baiting with the objective, TSM forced to re-engage, man disadvantage. You see how those trades are going to go.
Amaru, Glaz, Flores making their debut for Team Liquid
What is
now.
with these lineups?
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
They're having a good time.
I mean, they also kind of make sense on Consulate.
Yeah, and especially that they I rightly called a lobby defense.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Glaz, of course, can see through smokes. And one of the more viable strategies for a plant on this site is a front door plant with smoke coverage. You could also do a similar thing by piano, but just in general, you're going to have a lot of smokes in this site for the attack. They're very relevant. So bringing the Glaz here makes a lot of sense. And as Parker said, that's what Liquid predicted.
5 seconds to insertion.
I do want to point one thing out, by the way, about this matchup.
Pray
It's
tell.
that I want to get ahead of this,
Defuse the bomb.
because there will invariably be people who are either fans of Liquid or fans of TSM who think that we are being unfair or mean to their teams or reveling in the downfall of TSM. That is not the case.
I was really excited to see TSM play some good Siege here because in the NAL,
As am I.
They've
I had
been
very
doing
high
that.
expectations.
yeah, but they haven't been playing good Siege at this event. And I don't think it's necessarily their fault. They're a victim of circumstances in a way. But that is the case, and we must observe it.
Yeah. So we just want to say that we're making the best
This
of
is
a bad
default cam,
situation.
by the way.
Making the best of a bad situation. TSM are 0-4. They have no hope of moving on. Today will be their last day of active games,
Yep.
irrespective of what happens in their matchups.
I can't believe that default cam hasn't been shot.
I mean, I can.
Paulo
Think
is...
about what we've seen so far.
Paulo, okay, that's fair. There it is! Bolo, with the default cam assistance from one of his teammates, will land a nasty shot, as you say, onto Paulo. And there you go, one of the hottest hands on Liquid, eliminated. That's why you gotta shoot defaults.
It still remains up, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a refrag coming in from PSK. He takes down Geo, playing over by Visa. Flores now not really able to use those Rotero drones just yet, but that's a dirty angle that's
Wow.
being played by
Look
Chala.
at that. Yeah, that sees to the bottom of Visa stairs. You can see the angle, like not bottom actually, middle Visa stairs is where Chala's looking. That is a nasty angle right there. You can kind of line it up there, right there, where you see the paper on the floor right in front of the soda machine. That's what he sees. So that's going to be a potent angle. I think if Liquid decide to push anywhere near Visa stairs, he will get a kill off of that.
And there goes one of those Rotero drones.
Open up the drop down.
Doesn't have a very long timer on it, so could just be done to scout out before it then gets detonated.
Patience here from Chala is big, and the second kill for Bolo in this round. So he lands yet another headshot.
Now Chala will govern over in this hatch that's opened up. There's only a minute left. As we have continuously seen Alibi across a wide variety of maps. Hojo nets yet another for TSM, and Liquid are falling by the wayside here. Could Chala potentially get one for his team?
Well, it looks like these players from Visa have decided to avoid the drop, and actually PSK seems aware. Look at this. He's going to bad timing to look away from the angle. Now it's just Nesk, and he might be able to get the dropping Alibi, but he's missing some shots here. Half of his HP gone.
When was the last time you saw Nesk play Glass?
I mean, nope. Nope, never. I don't
think I've ever
I
seen
don't
him
remember.
play Glass.
He's got a suppressor on his PMM. I don't know what's going on here.
He wants to be very sneaky, sir.
Reverse. You know, suppressor, I feel like...
Oh,
okay.
bad time for Mr. Deeds quote, by the way.
I don't...
This round is over.
Yeah, this round is over. Nesk is going to try and get a pick or two, and no one's presenting themselves, so... Oh, wow. That was a C4 bait from Bolo to get the final kill. I like that. Or at least I assume it was.
And Ness just laughs.
Yeah, it was a C4 bait. He tossed the C4 to make Nesk look, and it worked.
Jason Bolo Doty. 3 big kills in the round. TSM regained the lead in this matchup. It was a thing of beauty.
Started with a 1-tap, too, yeah.
Liquid didn't seem like they had an overall strategy.
No, they looked really confused. They're trying to walk in through Visa door, and some confrontation on rappel. Like they brought the Glaz on a lobby take. You would have assumed that that is going to translate to a main lobby execution with the plant under smoke. And that is, yeah, we didn't even see, I don't even think Liquid went near the front door. Frankly, I don't think they had any kind of plan whatsoever.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
They were
being
just memeing.
defused by
We'll
attackers.
see the Glaz yet again.
I've watched a lot of VR6,
Uh-huh.
and I can't tell you the last time I saw Nest play Glass.
Well, this time it's Sexy Cake.
Why not?
Yeah. Move it around.
On Garage though, Sexy
Hot
Cake,
potato.
Sexy Cake is usually
We could just
the
call
one.
him Sexy.
My personal feelings towards him aren't what matter here,
We are really in each other's heads here, Parker.
aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
What a bond.
Mm.
Sexy Cake.
10 seconds left before
We
insertion.
try that one again.
Bomb located by attackers.
Sexy Cake is usually the one who's
5
carrying the
seconds
case in.
Mhm.
He's going to want to get that diffuser down. On Glaz, not that abnormal on a Garage take, to be fair.
I mean, I would definitely keep him up when the plant is going down if you're going for a smoke plant. If you're baiting with the smoke for kills and then you plant without the smoke dry, then yeah, give it to the Glaz, but otherwise someone else should have that diffuser if you ask me.
In chat before the matchup got started, PSK said, remember, don't peek. I don't know if that meant don't do it to us or don't try to peek us. But you got two different players from TSM spawn peeking right now.
Yeah, they are just actively disregarding what PSK said.
Oh no.
This toxic environment.
Geo's falling around Nest's throne after they take out any potential denial that they'd have to work with, just the mute jammers to be an impediment. And that garage door has been opened up perfectly. Geo was able to start things off from the same position last time, taking the Fink of Nesk out of action.
Yep.
And, well, now he's going to play and be forced out of his position because that Rotero dropped.
So he can see through smokes as well, so when that eventually comes, it will be not much of an advantage for the attack. Paulu's going to lead off with a pick onto Bolo, so these players have been killing each other quite frequently through this map.
Diffuser needs to get picked back up. Sexy Cake tries to, but Chala on this Tachanka is so strong. Pojo Man doing his best Merc impression. Down goes Poly. Another Rotero drop is going to go off. The stall potential from this Tachanka is quite high. Oh, more Molly's being fired on out, but Geo sits on the back of White Van and will punish anybody from Liquid foolish enough to get in his way. No, Geo! Run! You can't shoot it after it's armed.
He walks...
Substantial damage done to him.
Yeah, he almost died there. When you're falling, you can't move horizontally, so that's tricky in this game. Nesk will take Pojo out of the round, and it's actually looking a lot more winnable all of a sudden for Liquid because of that Rotero drone that landed on Geo. He'll die to just about anything. You could get close to him and shove him, he'd probably die.
He's playing this rat angle. He's got a good line of sight on it. He does a tiny bit of damage to Nesk. It's just Nesk and PSK. So much action has occurred, and there's still a minute to go in this round. Ooh. Playing around the bomb chassis, Geo knows that his survivability with such low HP is quite small. PSK at full HP. Nesk taking some damage earlier on. It's a winnable round for Liquid. Close.
Yeah. 40 seconds is a lot of time to work with here. PSK is just trying to fish for a pick, and it's the prone challenge from Geo,
no.
and that works out against him.
Nesk just walks right in. That F2 is just too much to handle. Diffuser still miles away, by the way. Needs to be picked back up, and it'll be PSK tasked to do that. But what a shot!
Recovered their diffuser.
He feeds Chala his own thoughts, and now it's achieved in a 1v2. Playing with an MP5 far enough back. A Nitro Cell is ready. He'll be brazen, and they both get off it at the same time. And it's a fight to see who can get the kill. Laughter throughout the Team Liquid bench as they pick up their second round.
PSK did say don't peek. He did warn them. Well, Chala did not heed that warning in that round.
Chala peeked.
He did peek. Yeah, that was a mistake. So, Liquid 2-2 against TSM. The Tachanka continuing to be rolled out here. Once again, that is not a troll. Say what you will about the gameplay. Bottom floor for TSM once again. They're going to try and change things, I assume, on their setup, their strategy, but keep it the same in the site. On the side of Liquid, they'll bring a knock. They are 6 picking it, so TSM is not going to be aware that the knock is in play.
It's Nook.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
Knock,
by
knock.
attackers.
Who's there?
Nook.
How can you tell?
Because you just told me.
She's invisible.
Only to cameras. Parker, are you a robot?
Well, I did sound like R2-D2, as they so wisely pointed out on social media. Thank you to everybody.
Can't really do it.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just flashed up as well, by the way. We talked about the TSM Mozzie bundle. Ace is the operator for Team Liquid if you'd like to support them in their Rainbow Six Share program.
10 seconds left.
Great way
Attackers have
to
located a
support
bomb.
the team directly.
5 seconds
With
left
this match
before
being 2-2
insertion.
even, Steven.
Attackers are heading out
All
to
out.
defuse a bomb.
Thank you.
All out.
Thank you very much. Sexy Cake with the diffuser is going to be playing Knock. And that's probably the last person you want to have the diffuser on. Usually the Knock is going to be tasked with...
You know, every time you pronounce it like that, Milos dies a little bit more inside.
Is it Nook?
Nick.
You want to say Nook? You want to say Knock?
Nick.
Which would you prefer? Both of them
Just
are
Nook
valid.
is fine.
Both are valid.
No.
Nook? Okay.
Yeah.
Generally, as the Nook, you want to inject yourself into any kind of opening you can find in the setup. And
then-
that's why you wouldn't want to have the diffuser on that operator.
Very interesting operator lineups that we've seen from Sexy Cake and Nesk so far, but Nesk is digging this twitch.
Are they doing the trick? I think they're doing the trick. I don't know if it's going to work. Nope, they messed it up. I think they went a little too high on the bottom there. So you have to get the very bottom Liquid. So, and the very top as well.
Well, now you're in trouble. This is not. What do you do now?
They
All
put
right, everybody, get on your bellies. We're crawling through together.
they put another Electroclaw on the wall, so it's going to be difficult for Liquid to deal with this. There's also only one more set of Habana charges here, and trying to get it with the Rotero drone. I think the Twitch drones have been mostly dealt with. There goes the Electroclaw, so Moringa can correct. Wait a minute, did he put it to the right of the breach? Where did he put that?
It'd be nice if the camera
Yeah, it'd be
rotated.
really cool, spectator, if I could see where they opened up that wall. Cool. Good talk.
404 spectator not found.
Yep.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
So I don't know how... Oh.
It looks like they opened up the wall.
Yeah, I think the wall is open in a way where they might be able to crouch through, but I'm not sure. It's total speculation.
That's death's door is what that is. You march right
You
into the
don't
gates
wanna-
of hell with that one.
You don't want to go through that, and Liquid can tell it's a bad move, so they're going to move over to Visa instead. Oh, look at the challenge inside of main lobby. Sexy Cake trying to use his position to his advantage. Bolo actively fighting Palu outside of Visa window. We've got some action here as we hit the last 40 seconds.
Sexy Cake capitalizing on achieved from above. There's another there. They didn't expect the 2-for-1. Not the 2-for.
And Pojo Man able to get that re, so good for TSM to maintain their dominance, but Bolo trying to vault through that teller's window will be felled.
Nesk was just positioned better. He was there.
Good spot
he had
to be.
your number.
Yep.
Yep.
64.
Well, now they
64. 65.
What are you doing?
15 seconds to
Calling
go.
numbers.
15 seconds left. Pojo Man on yellow stairs. He'll get caught down, but he doesn't know
10
from
seconds
where.
left.
Liquid have control from the back of the site as well as the front. TSM are a bit desperate here. Diffuser in the hands of Moringa. He won't be able to get it down, so that should be the round in favor of TSM. We'll take the first half 3, at least 3. There's still one more round to go, but they cannot lose it any longer.
It's been a while since I've seen that kind of lethargy from an attacking team, even including those last matches we had yesterday on Consulate, Parker. So Liquid set themselves up outside of Garage. They waited outside of Garage. And then when there was about 40 seconds left, they decided, you know what? We're not going to be able to push this. I don't think I even saw all the way to the end. I don't think I saw what happened with the Garage panel, so I can't say. But even if it was a crouch hole, still not a good push. So when rotating, Liquid got a few picks here and there, but they really just did not have time to convert to a site hit, and TSM waited, and they waited well.
Attackers need to locate
So now,
and
last
defuse
round
bombs.
of the first half, TSM up 1. They'll go to the main lobby.
Attackers have located a bomb.
We've seen a lot of Consulate at this tournament. That includes an abundance of waiting for the attack and the defense. It's peculiar how this map in particular is falling victim to that. The rest of the map's been pretty exciting.
We've now casted Consulate 3 times in a row.
Yeah, last 2 matches for us yesterday, Consulate.
Well, at least it wasn't the damn long Kia nip where they're like, hey, we're going to play on Clubhouse. All right, we have a rematch. Where do you want to go? You guys want to go back to Clubhouse again? All right, let's do it.
Let's do it twice in a row.
Damn long Kia won both. So
Yeah, good for DWG Kia. Well played to them. You know, it's curious. We do have the Valkyrie in play. I have talked about this before. She's usually banned on Consulate because this is one of her best maps, period. That's the alibi, actually, right there, marking one of the attackers in spawn. This is a spawn trapping situation for Pojo Man and TSM. They're trying their best to not allow Liquid to get to the building. And once again, we go to the main lobby. This time we don't have the glass. And Liquid are just kind of outside.
Sexy Cake on Ash. Nesk is on his 4th operator.
Ash with diffuser.
Ash with diffuser. Utility operator now, by the way.
Well, she was for a long time. I think she's been two. She's less of one after they took away one of those boom booms. Kaboom. Pojo Man peeking outside a piano. He's still trying to spawn trap. I wonder if they have a camera outside. I imagine
did Liquid get the defaults this time?
Well, there's some. Geo is on defaults right now, so I don't know. Okay, no, he's cycling internal defaults, so that bodes well for Liquid, and they do have the Dokkaebi.
Be kicked off it right away as PSK goes into drone after that logic bomb goes out. There's lots of tracking potential for Liquid with this Dokkaebi Jackal combo on the board, and then of course the killing potential that comes with the rest of this roster. It's been a bit of a quiet matchup for Palu as the scoreline for Liquid is relatively even.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Palu dominate the competition through this tournament. He is the top-rated player by far in multiple categories. 1 minute left here for Liquid and still no early pick. TSM continue to be patient. And Nesk is going to be pushing out from Soda Machine. Oh, this is a difficult challenge. The Alibi having the shield advantage. Pojo Man runs out and does manage to get Moringa. C4 will miss for him, and he gets cut off by Sexy Cake in the main lobby.
Sexy Cake still playing around that main lobby desk. Out goes the default cam and a line of sight towards both bomb sites if needed, but he shoots away at the Alibi clone, and that will reveal him for a short period of time. Doubling up on TSM is Liquid, and they're hunting for even more, leaving Geo to fend for himself. He's down by the antechamber, playing by Bathroom. Watching the same angle, but he gives himself away to the hatch control above. The first half is in the books, and these teams are tied up 3 apiece.
Like you saw at the end there, PSK was on camera. And yet, still not able to challenge the correct angle there for Geo. So, despite no early picks for Liquid, when the collapse came upstairs, it was successful, and it was pretty one-sided. One punishment from TSM, just a single kill, and then a complete collapse of the defense upstairs, resulting in an easy transfer to the site for Liquid. They actually didn't even need to set foot on that middle floor throughout the round.
I'd like to remind everybody, by the way, while we're in the midst of this matchup, and now the sides of Swamp, that there is another stream going.
Oh, yeah.
Twitch.tv/Rainbow6Bravo with the 3 fine British gentlemen, Jackie, Ace, and Dezichu.
Yeah.
It's currently Cyclops versus BDS, and we're not going to tell you what the score is. You can go over there and check for yourself.
And that's just basically, if you want to get to it really quickly, you can copy the URL at the top of your screen right now, post it in a new tab, and just type Bravo at the end. It'll take you right there.
That's correct. And then you can say to yourself, Bravo, job well done, after you finish it.
You know tech now.
You know tech.
Congratulations. So, once again, it's going to be a bottom floor defense. This time, a different team entirely. Liquid go downstairs for their first defense into this second half. So it's been a really interesting match so far.
Yes, the word interesting.
The word interesting, it's vague and it has multiple connotations, especially as a tool for casters.
How many rounds have we seen an attempted spawn peek? Because there's another here, as Nesk is now running this Liquid skin on the FMG, which we almost never see.
Yeah, it's a gun that does not get played a ton, but oh, look at that from Bolo.
Good night.
He must have seen Sexy on the rappel in, and he hits the shot through the separators. So TSM up early. This is what Liquid failed to do many rounds on the first half. Get those early picks.
Well, they've got control upstairs, but they have a long way to go to translating it towards the bomb site, which is nowhere near them. Way down below.
Yeah, TSM's doing a default full clear, starting with admin office. Pretty typical stuff here. Their timing is okay. It's not fast, it's not slow, it's solid. I'd say above average. And they also managed to get a pick off of it. So right now, the round is looking very good for TSM, but the crucial moments, as per usual, will come from the convert from roam clear and vertical play to actual site hit. Also, they need to make sure that they're getting good vertical in. So Achieved has to find himself at piano quickly, or he's not going to be able to open up enough for it to matter.
In goes Achieved. You talked about this full clear. Well, now they've got that top floor the way that they want it to. There's still another floor to go between them and the bomb site down below. Half of the round now gone by.
Ooh, no nade needed. He gets the Electro Claw. He won't be able to get the second, but the wall is still openable. And oh, why are you prone in front of a drone hole, Nesk? That is unlucky and a questionable decision.
Well, now there go the 2 Electro Claws, so perfectly well done, and then they'll open up the panel with it as well. Still one more panel to go if they want. 1 minute to be able to pull off whatever execute TSM has in their minds. There'd been a call made earlier on in the round by Bolo as to the presence of somebody on the top of Banana. Mojo, assuming that they're still there, fires away. This is the alibi of Moringa, who's playing on that spot for the record, but Moringa is long gone. Now they move over towards Yellow Stairs, and TSM will head towards the breach. And there's a particular quote here that was used that I know you're a particular fan of. The smokes will go out.
Once more into the breach, dear friends.
There you go. You have it down, Pat. The smokes will go off, and at some point there will need to be a destructive end, but Achieved has the reign and control from above, leaving only 2 members of Liquid against everybody from TSM. Diffuser will go down as there's no real contest from TSM on this one. Chala nets a nice kill on the PSK, down he goes, and then firing away at the wall, trying to find Palu. A flawless round for TSM, very possible. Only 50 HP left for Palu, and no flawless. Good night, Chala. Unfortunate play from him. The clone goes out. It's not the real deal. Palu takes it down. All the while this is happening, he's losing out on the precious time needed to get to that diffuser. He knows there's a sledge above, so he'll toss out a C4 in desperation, but at this point now, with only 6 seconds to go, it's over. And you can hear the ceremonial shots from TSM. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but we'll go hunting for this last kill on Apollo, and TSM will take the lead for 3.
TSM channeling their inner Shakespeare there with the very linear breach hit. It worked great for them, and even though they weren't able to get that flawless round, it was a very definitive result. The full clear upstairs, solid. They get Sexy Cake early in the round. That opens up opportunities to maintain that man advantage when going for trades on a, well, as we discussed, a linear hit. And they also did manage to use the vertical to solid effect. Obviously not going to get a pick off of it, but because you're pushing the anchors far enough back, you can pretty easily and leisurely walk into that breach without concern. So, well done to TSM. Routine attack there. Good siege being played, solid stuff. Liquid will decide that they do not want to address the bottom floor anymore, and they will go up to Console.
And defuse as many bombs as they can.
All right, well, the double thick boy combo will come out. Sexy Cake and PSK playing on the Doc and Rook.
Were you around when that was meta?
The closet strat.
Yeah.
Yes.
The double.
Yep.
The double ACOG on the.
Yeah, you sit somebody in the closet by B site, and then they're gonna nade you, but you're not gonna get down, and then the dog is gonna stim you, and then you get back up, and then you're basically a human ADS.
I mean, it wasn't just like, I mean, it was a meta on more maps than Consulate too. I mean, we were just discussing it yesterday, actually, as a Consulate's one of the longest reigning maps in competitive Siege. I think it's the only one that has stayed in the rotation and hasn't been changed at all. It's just, it's Consulate. I mean, not changed in a significant way.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I think it needs to change.
Well, Consulate actually evaded the changes to the 3 maps, if you recall.
Yeah.
In Crystal Guard season reveal, the changes are to Bank, Coastline, and Clubhouse.
Yeah. So Consulate gets to keep its bajillion fans in admin office.
It still irritates me that
every
they're not
time
aligned.
you see it. Yeah, every time you see it. Like that corner in the southeast is just going to be so cool, and everywhere else is just, it's feeling that breeze.
Why do those 2 people get a fan apiece?
Right, and then a third one just in case.
I don't get it.
Well, what is to get is this set up from Liquid. That totally works. Don't question it.
I would never.
No, never
question it.
Never
No.
question it.
I've never questioned you actually. So.
Aw.
I know.
I don't know if that's a healthy dynamic in a relationship. Open goes the wall, and that's going to allow for control on Visa stairs and into a site. Ooh, shotgun here for Sexy Cake.
All right.
I like this setup. This is actually smart. We've seen this before, but the Selma is going to push him back. It's going to be difficult for him to hold this.
No way.
Is he challenging? He's challenging with a shotgun, spraying away, and he lands some shots, but not enough. Pojo will shut him down. TSM maintaining their dominance through this engagement. The only player lost, Chala. But Liquid continued to contest. Down goes Moringa as an effect. And, well, PSK, he wants these fights. He's got the proxy, and he'll lose out just as his teammate did in the same position, leaving Justin Nesk to find 4 TSM players.
Well, it was actually an innovative setup from Liquid, the way that they did that with the paneling and the ADS and the Aruni gate, but there was just no denial. So the moment that TSM realized that that single panel could be taken apart next to the Surrey gate, there was nothing else to stop them from snowballing through Copier.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the shotgun play.
I do, yeah.
The GIGN shotgun is nasty.
Very good shotgun, yeah. You can put a grip on it too, which is, you know, neato for controlling recoil on a shotgun. It allows you to maintain your focus, though. It was worth mentioning. Now, the aggressive play here for Nesk is basically just a Hail Mary. At this point, he'll get one. That's big. Bolo goes down. He hears someone on Repel, almost lands that shot, but Geo will shut him down, and TSM, well, they'll take the round. That's their second on attack.
All right, TSM. All right. I see you. A 5-3 lead right now. That first half going relatively even with 3 rounds apiece, and then the side swap comes in, and it's an attacker-sided matchup. A timeout coming in from Liquid, and
woo!
Obviously they want to continue their unbeaten streak.
Yep.
At this point, a thing of pride, as Liquid have all but assured themselves a spot moving forward. Now, mathematics remain, as far as I'm aware, that Liquid could still potentially miss out, but I don't know the numbers on it. We'd have to get the numbers crunched.
I mean, it's highly unlikely. We do know that right now, Liquid sits in first in their group with 12 points. With 4 non-OT wins, that's what they get, 12 points.
Yes.
The next closest team is Invictus Gaming with 7.
So they have 6 points. They could vault up to 13.
Yeah, so I guess if Liquid drop the ball hard here today...
How many do Empire have?
They have 5.
So if Empire wins both of their matchups today, they cannot overtake Liquid. No, so Liquid's spot is secure.
Liquid's going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're 100% going to the playoffs. I thought we were talking about whether they would be first or second.
No. I was not aware that Liquid's spot had been officially locked in.
They're pretty,
the mathematics seemed like it, but I obviously wasn't going to.
They're pretty locked in. I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say it as a definitive here because but I think they are. So, you know, I mean, Liquid in effect is only playing for seeding, and TSM is playing for pride at best. So that's what's going on here, and it's part of why I would imagine we're seeing some experimentation.
Yes.
Some different stuff, and I for one am all for that. Go for it. It's also why we're seeing TSM play the best siege they've played so far through this tournament, because there's no pressure on their shoulders. Absolutely none. They can't do anything here. So, you know, it's not the greatest time to be playing your best siege, but it's, you know, I mean, better late than never, right?
Right.
I guess. Archives Tellers here for Liquid. And the setup is going to be pretty standard stuff. Evil Eye in Tellers. Got that line of sight Banshee as well from Malusi. That's going to be good for slowing people down when they head towards the default plant spot that's on that wall.
5 seconds to insertion.
Nothing too interesting with the lineups. Once again, I will bring up the fact that there is Valkyrie, as she is uncommonly seen on this map, usually banned. And Nesk on Valkyrie. Remember the Nesk Valkyrie days? Way back? Like even before bans?
Yep.
That was...
I do.
Those were the days, man.
Does he not have a Valkyrie tattoo?
I don't... I think he might.
I was pretty sure he did.
He's got a lot of siege tattoos.
Yes, I know
So,
that much.
but I don't want to be... I don't want to call it without looking, without checking.
No, that's sensible. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, okay. Well, there's your opening pick. Down goes Palu, Pojo Man. And just to get the first one for TSM.
That's a good pick to have. TSM have been great with those opening picks so far on the attacking half. Good at setting that tempo and maintaining control of the rotations. Managing to shut down that for Liquid. Moringa playing on yellow stairs will be droned out. Achieve now aware of him. And there's going to be a redrone from Geo in just a moment. As Moringa moves, he will catch the clone coming in from Connector, and he'll get yet another drone. Probably going to get a third in just a second here. TSM very focused on getting this player.
Oh, but Moringa's got too many angles that he needs to play off of. Good opportunity for a nice shot. He'll play off of so many windows.
He's trapped.
Feels like every single player on TSM right now is on this window, and Moringa is in the perfect spot, but they are triangulating his position, and they will find him and punish him for it. Achieve walks right up and manages to do the deed.
It was great containment from TSM. They had Moringa fully trapped by that desk, and Achieved was able to repel into by Yellow because there's no one to stop him thanks to that containment. They might even know that Sexy Cake is up here in admin office. And if they do, then he's likely to be just the next pick for TSM. He's completely isolated.
He's waiting so patiently, very sneaky. He hears the repel of Pojo Man.
Here comes the drone. Uh-oh. They're about to find him, and they do. And down goes Nest while he goes for a run out by Visa. Well, Sexy Cake trying to stay alive in admin office, but at this point, it's looking pretty desperate for Liquid.
Just narrowly misses the sledge, but oh, does so much damage to Achieved and gets the down through the wall as well. Once again, on the windows. He'll tussle with Pojo Man. Still on that repel, but TSM just have such a huge advantage in terms of numbers, and Sexy Cake is perished.
Now it's just PSK. He's got the Elda. Great weapon in a clutch situation, but 5 to find? I don't see it as very likely. We'll see what he can do as he ascends Vista Staircase, finds one unguarded. Achieve trying to open up from above, not paying attention. And he'll go down, so no flawless.
Got shot from above as Pojo Man takes out PSK, and that'll be it. TSM on match point.
Yeah.
Still looking for their first victory here in the group stages. They might just get it.
No, good for TSM. They get that round, big one. They could possibly walk away with this. You know, it would be a point of pride to beat the team that in Liquid that possibly goes on to make it real far in those playoffs. I mean, we don't know, but
I mean, it's also one thing. Gio has not won a match yet on his homeland.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
that is something to keep in mind.
Is he the only Mexican player here?
He is.
Yeah. I mean,
the only Mexican player.
I think it's important that he gets a win.
Yeah. So for Gio, he's looking for a victory on home soil, and it seems to be within their grasp.
One round away.
Yep.
Very doable.
TSM on attack are flawless. They're up 3-0 on this one half alone after drawing the first.
Gio in particular, as we've been talking about him, is one of the top performers for the lobby.
Yes.
Tied with Chala. 9 kills. An impressive performance. I love these electrical placements. You learn new ones every single time you watch pros play. It's cool to watch.
Hard to hit some of them.
Yeah, there's that one under the toolbox. That one's real difficult to hit.
Yeah.
I have to get like just the pixel. But it's also much more known these days.
Sorry?
It's much more known these days.
There's also replays, right?
Yeah, people are seeing those a lot, and if you analyze those pro replays, you can generally get a lot of information. It's almost like they do the dry runs for you. You just have to pay attention.
Yep. Your work is cut out for you at that point.
So Sexy Cake is opening these windows, the glass specifically, so that he gets sound prompts on possible players on repel. If you're wondering what he's doing, he just wants to know what he's dealing with. He's kind of on an island. As I like to say, he's alone. And he's being aggressed on by Bolo, who will land the shot through the wall. The awareness on this man. He'll get the first pick, as TSM has done every round in this second half.
All right, Bolo, we see you. Talked about Gio having a good game, so too is Bolo.
Mm-hmm.
Very high impactful kills. That's the thing that stands out to me.
Yeah, it's a Sexy Case getting picked off early a lot
for
Liquid. And he can be a potent force when allowed to be. Nesto will answer. Down goes Bolo. And what a shot from Palu. Achieved on CEO. Eliminated.
All right, well, they've still got some marks coming in as Moringa hoping to take advantage of this flank, and they're not going to let TSM get away with this one that easily. Make them work for it. 4v2 for Liquid. Still hope here for TSM with Pojo and Gio working in tandem, but the outlook is pretty grim at this point, even if there is 90 seconds remaining, and it will get even worse as Pojo shredded off of Repel. Palu and Gio will remain the last one.
So it seems there are some useful camps here from TSM. As you can see, they're cycling to spectate, but it's not going to matter as Gio tries to vault into Visa. And his head will go back as TSM falls on that round. Liquid keeping their chances alive, vying for that OT.
Well, they got 2 more rounds to make this one work. The tactical timeout taken did not immediately pay dividends, but later on, obviously, showing some good work. And honestly, the thing for that round that characterized Liquid's play was how fluid and dynamic they were across the map. They were able to find openings, evade drone work, and frankly, it didn't look like TSM was doing their full due diligence when it comes to drone work. So,
well, I mean, they've done their due diligence in one thing. They're the first team to bring Liquid to match point through this whole tournament. Liquid has not only never lost, they have never been brought to OT. And at least one of those has broken already, given that in order for Liquid to win, they would have to get to OT. So, and there's no guarantee of that either. TSM doing very well.
well, I hope it keeps up.
For their sake.
Going back to this Aruni strat, but they're not running an Aruni this time. They've subbed her out for the Pulse. Everything else remains the same, minus the Jaeger as well. So, okay, so you've made 2 changes on this setup. But I wonder if Sexy Cake still has that shotgun in hand. I wonder if the strat is still to play him off of that panel.
That's a good question. We'll find out. PSK at least is bringing the MP5.
10 seconds.
PSK was on that before, right?
I actually can't remember who exactly it was. You get those 2 operators mixed up really easily because they both look almost the same and have very similar kit. But no, it's the MP5 on both of them.
Yeah.
So that's actually gonna, I like that better because it means you can challenge admin instead of just allowing the enemy to take it.
Right. And they don't have the same investment or setup on that panel, obviously, because there's no Aruni on the board, there's no Jaeger on the board either, so Sexy Cake will sit and wait for it. TSM have been great on these opening duels. You talked about it. They're perfect so far through on those opening duels. And a pick or 2 here could be catastrophic for Liquid. But that opening pick didn't really matter in the previous round because Liquid were able to play around it and then collapse on the players in TSM who are moving towards console office, but didn't have the wherewithal as the location of the defenders.
Ooh, Bolo's gonna open up this bathroom wall. That's really good control. You can see he'll only open up 1. That denies the rotation. If he opens up both, then he has to worry about more angles that the enemy can address him from.
Palu down below on yellow stairs, playing over by Piano. A drone will go by, which he shoots and then runs away and heads for the hills. Most of Liquid are sitting upstairs near these bombs. This is a console office defense. Grenade goes in, and Bolo, the leadoff pick. What he's been doing so well thus far.
And he's been really good on those opening picks, and Liquid now on the back foot. They've got control at top Visa, though. That's Sexy Cake. And, oh, there's planting going on. And TSM do not seem to be giving anything away, as even Nesk is unaware that this plant is happening, playing as the Pulse below. Geo will also get PSK, so in this post-plant, TSM have the man advantage.
Nitro Cell goes out and might claim Geo. There it does. So they answer back, traded off by 1, as Sexy Cake had taken down Bolo before he himself is swiftly removed from action. While Palu is still upright, Nesk will be on this cardiac sensor, trying to gain very valuable intel in the post-plant. It looks like he saw 1 on Repel, but it's just outside of his range. It's a tough spot for Liquid to be in as they stare down the barrel of their first defeat here in the group stages. TSM look for their very first win. Nitro Cell onto the window pane, but it's underthrown by a hair. Now Nesk will do battle with the 2 players from TSM in that same spot. We're well past the point of no return, so it doesn't really matter what happens. TSM pick up their first victory here in the group stages.
Let's go TSM. You can see Poj is happy. Liquid, their first defeat at the same time. So it is definitely a big upset for these groups. Congratulations to TSM. They might be going home still, but at least they go home with a dub.
And a victory for Geo on home soil.
Yep.
Not that it may matter to him, but if it does, congratulations.
Yeah, so. it's a big deal, I think, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for them, and who knows? Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's possible Liquid will go quite far in those playoffs. We don't know, but based on their group stage performance, that would be easy to assume. And if you manage to beat Liquid here, you get to say, "Aha, we beat Liquid. We did it."
If Liquid are the champs, TSM get to turn around and go, "Ha!
Yeah, we did."
Nobody beats TSM twice, except for Invictus.
Except for Invictus.
So, but you know, except for them.
Yeah. Well done, TSM. Congratulations yet again.
Well done on their end. And obviously, TSM still have one more match to go later today, as does Team Liquid. And for Team Liquid, it's going to be an interesting one. Invictus has 2 matches later on in the afternoon. And with how tight that Empire Invictus race for second place in this group is going to be, we are going to watch those Invictus matches with much bated breath.
Yeah, those will be very interesting. I think there's a lot more on the line there, a lot more to discuss, read the group and who's qualifying for the playoffs. This match, definitely very interesting for the teams.
Yes.
Not necessarily for the standings.
Yeah. Well, the desk is ready to go through that matchup, and with what we saw out of Team Liquid, I'm sure there's much to discuss. So we'll give it over to them, and then we'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you, gentlemen. Important win for TSM's morale, not going completely defeated out of this event, and they still have the opportunity to play the spoiler, especially in the next game, which we'll get to in a little bit. But from your expert opinions, what would you say about that game of Siege?
Well, it wasn't the most serious game that I've ever seen. I mean, listen, I don't think Liquid were like trying to lose or anything, but I think it's very clear, especially on their attacks, they were playing some operators that they might not repeat if they make it to the grand finals.
Pretty
or even
sure.
the quarterfinals, right? I mean, Jacob, you and I said if we had to pick operators, it'd be what, Blitz and Jackal?
Blitz and Jackal, both of them were played.
Yeah,
I
took
definitely
after us.
don't think in the future we're ever going to see a Blitz attempting to solo roam clear with Diffuser top floor anymore. But,
well,
I mean, and then seeing Amaro as often as we saw her. Yeah, there's definitely some operators that you shouldn't see if Liquid end up making a grand finals appearance for sure.
So I was a bit surprised that Liquid was kind of taking their foot off the gas a little bit here, considering that this is their chance to lock up that first seed, and they didn't get it done. Does that say anything about Liquid's mentality, do you think, or are they going to be bouncing back and taking out IG later today?
There's nothing really to bounce back from, as far as I'm concerned. This is a case where everybody was very jovial, I think, just to kind of about the circumstances of this matchup. Liquid are confirmed, TSM are out. There was actually a picture that Data posted on Twitter showing every single person in the exact same TeamSpeak lobby from both teams just kind of having a party, and Gio was the only person who opted to not join for some reason. But yeah, no, everyone on both these teams are obviously super good friends. There's not a circumstance in which either one of them were probably going to go into this game with all that much fire in them, because they already know where they're going for the rest of this major. But for specifically in Liquid's case, this isn't a case where this is a loss where they have to look at super seriously and be concerned for any reason.
I think the mental state is almost a positive for Liquid after this, because like you could tell they were laughing, they were having a good time. Like that's what you want when you're in this position. They know that they're going to be locked in for playoffs, and they're very likely to get that first seed, even with this loss. So I mean, you know, they're going to have a good time. Their spirits are high, and they're looking forward to the playoffs, right?
They should be, especially after the performance that they've had so far through this tournament. We're going to hype up Palu as much as we want to. He obviously top fried for Liquid even in a loss. Gio had some nice moments. Bolo was still playing Goyo and whatnot on his roles.
Right.
In fact, actually, most of TSM kind of seemed like they were still playing into most of what they've done to this tournament. It was Liquid who were the ones who were memeing a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I thought TSM's roles were definitely what they've been used to, and Bolo, 5-1 on entry. It's something Kickstar pointed out in the cast. He's absolutely right. If Bolo was getting entry stats like that during the rest of the tournament, maybe TSM wouldn't be in this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, you have to show up here first, and it's hard because you're losing a lot of games before you have more practice. Now they have, been able to get more coordination under their belt over the last few days of games, but comes just a little bit too late given the other results in this group just don't give them a chance to escape.
And that's how it goes. I mean, you lose, you don't get opportunities. There's no second chances, right? Sucks.
They've already kind of gone past the point of no return. So they just have to kind of eat it. They got one more game up against Empire next, and then I actually don't remember offhand whether if you're in the Mexico Major and you get knocked out in groups, if it means you stay for the entire rest of the playoffs, like within the bubble that we've got going, or if it means that you're gone as soon as you're gone.
If I had to guess, for safety reasons, that during the pandemic they would remove people as fast as possible.
That would make sense.
That's kind of my guess. Yeah.
Lower density of people, probably a good thing. I would think.
It just means that for TSM, the time that you have to like enjoy being around everyone in the LAN environment again is obviously something you don't have all that much time left to do. You haven't had the chance to see some of some very close friends in person for a super long time all across the world. So for TSM, you got one more game. You might as well savor whatever you can get.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see TSM go back to North America, go back to Stage 3, because I think that's where the motivation comes, right? You finally will have the roster you ended the Stage 2 with that you want to play with internationally. So it's about really making sure you get first place back at NA and that you have a strong kind of lead into qualifying for the Invitational.
And I hope TSM aren't too sad about this one. I mean, there have been times throughout this tournament where they've been very loud. This has not been a quiet team. But after that win, they were all pretty silent, and Bolo alone was just going to like, we got one! We got one!
We did it, guys!
So congrats, TSM, for that.
Yeah, and so for Liquid, they've got one more match today. They are almost certainly going to be in first place in this group, although they did not technically lock it up right now. Not going to OT also hurts them. Yeah, in theory. So it's not over yet. Just still very likely that Liquid's going to do just fine.
I mean, hey, if Liquid wanted to give TSM just kind of a free win off the back of a pretty lackluster major, I don't really blame them. But they still have Invictus left to play, and that game, for all intents and purposes, isn't going to be very difficult, I don't think, for Liquid if they're playing at their best.
All right. Well, we are going to have an interlude here where I give you spoilers about the Bravo stream because
take the headphones off again.
The match has just finished. So you've had time to take off your headphones or turn off the stream at this point in time. It was a match between BDS and Cyclops. BDS did win the map 8-6 in overtime on Cafe. Still, that should put BDS in first place in that group. Cyclops, however, playing a more competitive second game against BDS should be noted. And they are looking still strong for the playoffs. They get a point out of it, so that's good for them.
That locks BDS down, I do believe. Yes, it does. So BDS confirmed for the bracket. I believe that makes them the 4th team to lock down. So we now have half of the teams that are going to be playing in the bracket stage. And as you mentioned, Cyclops now with 10 points. Team 1 are really going to have to pull in some games if they want to make it to bracket.
Yeah, just the fact that Cyclops escaped with that 1 point, it's going to make it infinitely more difficult.
Yep.
Team 1 now need to win both of their final 2 games, preferably in regulation. If they get 5 points, I'm trying to remember my tiebreaker.
It needs to be regulation.
All right, so they need Cyclops to lose their last game in regulation. Team 1 need to win their final 2 in regulation. But the thing about that is, if memory serves, Team 1 can still get knocked out even before they have a chance to play their games because BDS and Cyclops have games before them.
No, Cyclops BDS is the last one. That's last one.
Oh, is it?
Cyclops.
Okay,
so BDS.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But still, there are things that Team 1 cannot control that they need to go in their favor if they want to get out of this group.
Yeah, and given their play, seems unlikely. Although we didn't have the Team 1 BDS game where Team 1 won on the main stage yesterday, so they might be able to carry at least some of that momentum going forward.
Yeah, maybe we're underestimating them because we didn't get to see that game. That's definitely possible.
It is possible, but how much stock are you putting in Team 1 at this point?
Yeah, sorry guys about the lack of analysis on that one. It is difficult when we're on the main stream for literally 14 hours a day to then go in-depth review all of the other 6 or 7 games that happen on the Bravo stream.
We're doing our best.
So we will have the complete universe of information for the playoffs because this is the last day of Bravo stream. We're doing all the quarterfinals here on the main stream. But yes, it is a little bit speculative for us right now.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure Jess and Skies, if they're working more of the Team 1 games, have done their VOD review.
We're probably going to have to pick a little bit of Des, Ace, and Jackie's brains
True.
afterwards to make sure that we get it. But yeah, once we get situated for playoff territory, everything will be known and nothing will be secret anymore.
You got all day tomorrow to watch all your favorite VODs of the teams that have qualified.
I can't wait.
Okay, we do have some stats for Palu, who was our MVP yesterday, updated after that last game. He did have a positive KD in spite of a pretty solid loss, I would say, and was top fragging on his team. So Palu, is he been your MVP of the event so far, considering all the games that these teams have played to this point in time?
Yeah, undoubtedly. I think Palu has been a real star for Team Liquid, which is what you expect and what you want from a star player like himself. I mean, he is that sort of sledge main that usually goes off. Actually playing a lot more Yana this stage, and the sledge been picked up a little bit by his teammates in Nesk. So maybe some roles being moved around a bit, but still Palu playing fantastically. 3 opening kills so far, group stage in general 13, kind of nuts how well he's been doing. And even if the last map wasn't the best thing ever, I mean, he's still Palu. It doesn't matter.
Palu will need somebody to step up in order to dethrone him, which at this point I don't really know if it's going to happen for the course of the group stage. I think when somebody is on a tear, especially for groups, they kind of at least maintain that kind of momentum because the pressure's different once you hit playoffs. It's a similar story to what we saw from Joystick back at the 6th Invitational. insane performance. Best KD, best overall, like, differential. He was clicking heads everywhere. And then he gets to the playoffs and he absolutely falls off, and Empire don't make it out of, like, the second round of the losers bracket.
Yeah.
And in this case, I don't necessarily think the same is going to happen for Paul Louv, but he didn't have nearly as strong of a start as Joystick and ended up still being SI MVP when it was all said and done. So this momentum for him shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, well, we will get back to Team Liquid later today, and we'll get back to this group with TSM and Team Empire in just a few minutes. But first off, guys, we do have an announcement from a partner here at the Rainbow Six Mexico Major, and that is the official player development platform in AimLab for Rainbow Six Siege. So they've got a bunch of new tasks in AimLab right now that you can go and check out. It's a great way to actually work on your mechanics in the game and really do those drills that you need. Not only that, but there is a special themed skin in AimLab for you for free. It's the 416C Major themed skin. You just got to log into AimLab, and you can go ahead and get that. So check it out, and we've got a message from AimLab itself about all the new 6 Siege tasks in the game. So get hyped.